Well, good afternoon. This is Houndog Steve wishing you a very pleasant afternoon, and welcome back to the journey of the container home conversion. And as you'll see by the video, I have moved in, which has been absolutely fantastic. I got to admit, the staying in the trailer was getting a little cold and a little stale. Nice enough in the summertime, but once it gets into the cold weather, wow. And I don't think it would have actually withstood the minus 21 degrees overnight centigrade overnight temperatures that we're expecting during this coming week. Anyway, that explains why there haven't been too many videos coming out just lately, and that will change in the very near future. And I actually have a druthers video which I'm just doing right now, and so that will come out in the next couple of days. So there is still work to be done, mostly finishing work now, and that will just be more time consuming than anything else. But yes, we're in, and it's pretty cozy. These temperatures will be a real test. I tell you, cold weather is a real good way to shake down anything that you have, property, vehicles, because if anything's going to go wrong, it's going to go wrong when it's minus 25 degrees centigrade. Yes, one of the videos I am planning to make is stringing together all of these container update videos and take the soundtrack off and replace it with a music track, speed it up, and we'll get a condensed version of all of the things that have taken place since the very beginning of this rebuild. And I've looked back on a couple of them, and it's hard to believe what we've done in the last year. Other than that, things are going well. I am feeling in great health, and I'll be doing some planning for where I'm going to put my garden. I'll have a small kitchen garden outside here. I'm not quite sure where all this is going to go as far as the greenhouse is concerned, what we're going to grow in there. And I do highly recommend that everybody get themselves a kitchen garden, even if it's a balcony kitchen garden. Just a place where you can grow a few lettuce and tomatoes, some herbs, that kind of stuff. And, you know, so that when you're cooking, you just pop outside, pick whatever you want. You want to make a salad, you know, have a cucumber rack, that kind of thing. It doesn't have to be very big. You can produce a lot of food in quite a small area, and like I say, it is so unbelievably handy just to be able to step outside and go pick something for your supper. So we're approaching some kind of civility. The shower tiles are in. They're all grouted and sealed. Toilet is in, sink's in, hot and cold water is on. The floor is finished. So we're looking pretty good in here. Once this shower goes in, it will be amazing. It really will seem like a real home then. The rest of the insulation is going up. So it's actually noticeably warmer in here, although the weather is quite mild. But once that is done, that next layer of drywall can go up. Drying wood. Let me tell you something about wood. You want to have your wood stacked by May, June at the very latest, and let that sit all summer. I wish I'd known that I was going to be short of wood, otherwise I would have ordered it and had it stacked up and ready to go. So now we're going through the wood drying process. Now it's not soaking wet, but it doesn't hurt to take that little edge off. So this is the beginnings of the kitchen. I'll be bringing the countertop in tonight to set that on there and start marking things out. These are going to be the supports. I've made these frames to go around and underneath the countertop, and there will be cupboards in there, or shelves. And you know, I mean, it's it's an interesting experiment here, building your own furniture. But I'll tell you something. Let me just show you something right here. So this sink stand here is from Home Depot, and the bottom is chipped off already in just a little bit of moving. It caught on something. It is just absolutely horribly cheap plasterboard. There was a bit of a leak in here, and this is swollen up already and bubbled up because again it's that plasterboard, or particle board, sorry, is just absolutely hopeless. It is water absorbent, and this little piece of furniture here, I paid over $200 for that, and it's basically stapled together. Now it has a nice finish, but I'll tell you, it's not very durable. I don't know how long that'll last or before I'm replacing it, but anyway, for the kitchen, which takes a lot of hard knocks, there's no doubt about it. Like I say, I had that stand already made for another sink in my old house whilst I was taking the old kitchen out, and so I'm going to reuse that, and I'm going to build something that is a little bit more sturdy, and yeah, it's going to look homemade, there's no doubt about it, but I'm hoping that it will stand the test of time, because like I say, kitchen counters, they get wet, they take a lot of pounding. Those shelves usually have pots and pans on them. So anyways, the way I'm working this out is the sink will be right here, so I've got this wonderful view out of my back window in the forest, and the countertop will extend about 2 feet over the edge of that support, and so yes, there'll be a full and 10 feet countertop. So this is December 29th. The snow is all gone. It's about 5 or 6 degrees today, and it is drizzling. Now we're supposed to get a little bit colder tonight and in the next few days, but this has been absolutely unbelievable weather to be able to get through into the end of December with really no snow on the ground. It's come, it's been, it's gone. And you know, we only have 2 months to go. February's a short month, and then we'll be pulling out of winter and into early spring-like weather. I don't know if you can see, there's the ice is all patchy on the creek and the swamp area at the back there. Yes, what a strange winter. What a strange winter. And we will have a little conversation about that at some point, because I have my own theories about what is going on, and certainly, well, it seems to be playing out exactly the way I said it would. Okay, I built the support for the countertop. The sink is in place, the taps are in, not tightly, but just to show where everything is going to go, make sure it all fits. And I'll be picking up the rest of the wood to finish that off, put the shelves in, and I think I'm going to have myself one sturdy set of cupboards and countertop. It's -12 out there tonight, and the wood stove is just pouring out the heat. Boy, she sure is ugly, but I'll tell you, when you're cold, it don't seem to matter anymore. So I'm going to be looking around for another one of these babies. It just absolutely hits the spot. Okay, so here we are with a Texas storm blowing up from the Gulf. This is just the beginnings of it. We're supposed to get quite a bit of snow today, anywhere between 10 and 25 centimeters. And here I am, nice and warm inside. Okay, so quite a few changes. The kitchen cabinet is now installed, 2-burner gas stove, air fryer, and the pipes are just waiting to be glued together. They're all set in place. The hole is in the ground there. That's insulation that's been stuffed in there to keep the breeze out, which the dog has tried to chew out, silly old thing. And the lumber on the floor, those 2x10s, that's going to be the base of my bed. This is the insulation that's going on the ceiling. But yeah, the washroom is now completely finished. Well, it works. Of course, there's all this finishing off to do up above and beside the shower stall. But at least we can use the washroom, sink, teeth cleaning, all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, a lot of this is just kind of finishing off when you get time to go at it. Won't take long to do this. And of course, here is the office. And by the way, someone who questioned about the pipes going through an outer wall, these water pipes just go through the ceiling, that's it. There's no water pipes in the outside wall at all. Anyway, as you can see, this is as far as we got yesterday. I'm going to finish off putting in these little infill pieces up there in the rafters. You can see all of this stuff is to stop the wind from blowing in. And as I said, it makes a big difference. Wiring there for a ceiling fan. And what just arrived today and I just installed is a nice big blower for this wood stove here. So it'll really push out the heat. Anyway, it's nice and toasty in here right now because it's not that cold outside, but there is a good wind blowing, and the wind is supposed to pick up even more than it is right now, and they're talking dangerously high winds, so we may lose a few trees. So that's what I was doing yesterday, was installing the insulation up against the walls there. And as you can see, look, as this wood has dried, you can see all those gaps have opened up. Now I've been taping those, and we'll be putting insulation down, as you can see on the floor there. All the gaps underneath have been covered with spray foam insulation. This is all the pipe work. As you can see, comes out of the there's a little bit too dark back there, but yeah, the pipes come out of the top of the container along here and over to the hot water tank. But the job, as I say, I did yesterday, if you can see down the end there, that was one heck of a job. Crawling down to the end there and putting in and sealing that piece of insulation against that wall. But that will stop all air leaks. And as you can imagine, you know, like these gaps don't look very big. However, you start adding these all together, and there is a decent sized hole in side of your wall, blowing cold air in and letting hot air out. So this is the view from the balcony, my storage area, and I can tell you she's pretty warm up here. She is pretty warm up here. Once I get this stuff sorted out, a lot of this will be unpacked, and this may even become like a little bunkie up here too, for friends staying over. Put a little railing across here, and now of course it is a little low at this end, but at the other end you can stand up quite easily. So there you go, folks. Hopefully next little update that I do, I'm actually you're going to see my bed down there and a chest of drawers and things looking a lot more civilized. This is quite the moment. This is the first meal that I am cooking in my new home. Fridge got held up and the washer and dryer because it's going to snow like the devil tonight. We're supposed to get between 4 and 6 inches again, but yes, look at that. The ceiling is in, the drywall is all up. That's as far as we're going with the drywall. And Jasmine is making herself right at home. So I'll be spending my first night in here. This is Friday night. Sunday night will be my first night in here. Now I wanted to build a bed stand that would have some storage underneath it, and this is what I've come up with. I think that'll work. You know, it's always nice to have storage under the bed. And I don't know if you can see, but there we go. The temperature is creeping up on 18 degrees centigrade, which compared to the trailer is jolly, jolly warm. So the work shall continue, but from within. I'm very pleased about that. And I wanted to mention, for anybody who is doing a container home, these supports here, these metal supports, are very, very, very important, because as you can see, when we look at the corner, the four corners of a container is where all the strength lies. Now this concertina metal here is, yes, there's some strength in that, but if you put too much weight, especially if you've cut holes in the wall, if you put too much weight, it will basically crumple. So that is why those supports are in there. Very, very important. Got to think about this stuff. It's all engineering. So anyway, that is my little celebration. And of course things will get a lot easier when the washer and dryer are in, and the refrigerator. But let me tell you, getting that drain hooked up, wow, what a major, you don't realize until you can't do dishes, can't wash yourself. It makes you really feel for people who are out on the street, or you know, cannot access those services. And let's face it, you know, it's pretty difficult. If you are in that situation, you know, where do you go? I don't know of any public bathhouses down in Toronto or anywhere around. So what do you actually do when there's nothing available? I mean, I just can't imagine. You know, things start to deteriorate in your life pretty quickly if you can't access these basic necessities. So no, I'm very thankful to be here, and living in that trailer without those amenities has just been a little wake-up call as to how primitive it can become, how much time. It is so time-consuming, you know, to do dishes when you have to heat water and put it into a bucket and then get rid of that water and then use rinse water and all this kind. You know, it is unbelievably time-consuming. Something that would normally take 15-20 minutes is now an hour to an hour and a half process. So yes, if you are in any kind of shelter that is secure, be absolutely thankful. Thank your lucky stars that you're not out on the street. Here we are, first night in the container. I am so excited. It is unbelievable. Jazz has got a little spot there. Blanky's moved in. She's finally calmed down. She knew something was going on as we were moving stuff out of the trailer into the container here. But it wasn't until I put her Blanky down that she knew that she was home. So here we are. All the laundry was done. I cleaned all the sheets and the blankets, and this blanket, by the way, this Hudson's Bay blanket, absolutely amazing. I've had this for absolutely years. They bought it second-hand. The label's nearly worn off. It's been washed so much. And the way you can tell that it's a real Hudson's Bay blanket is these four lines here. These are pelts. So this blanket costs 4 pelts, 4 beaver pelts. And as you can see, you know, this goes back a long way, and I'm still using this. It's still warm. The colours have held fast. Absolute unbelievable quality. So yes, my first chore will be to build this walk-in closet and get that finished, because that will mean I'll get some shelf space for storage. Still a little cramped for storage right now, but other than that, no, things are looking pretty good, and it was just in the nick of time. We're going down to -15 tonight, and the next week is going to be between -15 and -20. So this will be a real test of the pipe work. Lots of little details to finish off yet. Anyway, this is the workstation, and I'm hoping now to have a little bit of time to make a few more videos. There is so much going on, it is unbelievable, between the weather, the conflict taking place throughout the whole of the world right now, just staggering. The economy, inflation, the ridiculousness of our politicians and the decisions that they're making. So yeah, just cooking a little supper here. I splurged and bought myself an air fryer, and boy, do I ever like this thing. I've only used it a couple of days, but I am already in love with this air fryer. It's very versatile, and the food tastes great. Tastes great, and easy cleanup. Okay, here is the view out of the kitchen window, and you can see from the icicles that I still have a bit of an insulation problem, and that will be remedied this week hopefully. But a beautiful view, and we've had a ton of snow in the last few days, plus it's freezing cold. Once again, I'd like to thank all of you for joining me on this journey. It has been a great experience, and it is of course ongoing, and life is a continual adventure. And so there remains nothing more than for me to say, be brave, stay calm, wait for the signs. And in the meantime, this is Houndog Steve wishing you a very pleasant afternoon, and we'll talk very, very shortly. See you now. Bye.